Hello and welcome everybody to the latest edition of the Buy Round. I am back and I am joined by Cheese. So I guess it's the Jam and Cheese show. Cheese, we've just been involved in something secretive.
Very secretive.
But will be revealed very, very soon. Not to tease too much, but Australia's next top model.
I am. Thank you. Even though I'm a Kiwi, you're a Pom.
I think the fact that it's called Australia's next top model doesn't mean you have to be from Australia.
Really?
I think you can just maybe reside here and be available for the show.
But you wouldn't be Australian then. You'd be Australian us.
Yeah, I think that's what the show...
Oh, I thought you said Australian's next top model.
No, it's Australia's next top model. Whether you...
well, that's my
born
bad.
here or reside here, but either way, they've got a couple of strong candidates to feature, and it is coming very soon. We are very excited. What we've got looks very cool, and excited to share with our fans, our listeners, and our audience.
Cool.
Cheese the knee. What's the latest, my friend?
Just plugging away, back in the rehab. Shitstorm, you call it. Just rock up the training and do running and gym. That's all it is at the moment. But it's better than expected. But I think the writing's on the wall a little bit with where our season's heading.
Yeah, that's fair.
So there's no rush for me to come back. I want to come back just so I get a few more games. You know, one game in the last 11, nearly 12 months now. It's not really ideal for me, but should be soon. I think a couple of weeks.
Yeah, you think that can help you going into next year rather than just. Because sometimes, and I don't mean to embarrass you, with star players, it can be seen as like too risky. Like, oh no, let's just put him on ice. Let's wait for next year. But you think it will actually be beneficial to yourself and South to get some game time?
I think mentally it would be beneficial.
Yeah.
It's more. Yeah, it's not so much the physical. I'll get fit over the preseason. Even next year, the same. The third round one, I'm still going to be just as unfit as I am now. If I have the time off, or if I play, it doesn't really matter. But it's just the mental capacity of just getting through a game without an injury. Like that's what I'm praying for.
Yeah.
So yeah, just it's only the mental side that I really care about.
It's something that I think sports science and science in general has come into professional sport and our sport. Is as well affected by heads of performance that often just do look at the actual physical side of the game and the risk of injury, but as we both know, there's a psychological effect on the game and just the difference between let's not run the risk of reoccurring the injury versus I don't know if you're this way inclined, but the whole the levels of anxiety through the preseason when you're thinking, oh no, I'm waiting for that first trial, and then you don't really get over it because it's only a trial, and then the anxiety of going into round one. It's better to get that out your system now so you can approach the preseason in a better frame of mind.
For sure, and that's the logic behind it. I think a few of our boys now, we've had a horrid run, but I think a few of our boys that are probably the star players like Latrell, I think he'll be able to come back at some point this year. I think he'll want to, regardless of our position or where we can come. So, and it does get a bit scary with the spoon talk. I don't think we're gonna be in that discussion, but it's getting towards that way,
Well, I guess 6 wins. With all due respect to the Titans, it's hard to see them winning 2 more. Tino's injury will play a big factor in that, but it's hard to see the Titans getting 2 more wins with due respect to them. But obviously not quite out of the race for the spoon just yet. But I think I've seen on I think it was NRL Physio around the number of injuries in terms of games missed, number of rounds missed by South. It is just like daylight between yourselves and the Roosters, and ironically the Roosters probably feature yourself and
it's about I think 16 games of my games.
I think Souths are up near almost the 180 and
Is it
Roosters
200?
around.
I think they're like 200 and Roosters are like 120. But if you take away the 16 I was in, we're nearly double what it is for the next guy.
Yeah. Speaking of sports science and the situation that you're in, there's only one spot that I wouldn't, that is worse than the situation you're in my opinion, in terms of being in that rehab group. It is difficult, but one of the things I often see at games, and it sort of crept in, is the 18th man conditioning session after a game.
Ah, yes.
It is.
Mate, I've done conditioning after the session when I played.
Sorry?
At Melbourne. Mate, if you play, because I had the power stint in 2018 when I first come in.
The power stint.
The power stint. They come on with 10 minutes to go, or they come on in second half. Mate, you'd have to do a little block of con at half time. So you do like
at half time.
Yeah, you do like up downs, like little
on the bench.
Yeah, like right in the corner. Like, you know how you run it after half time, you run it and you run down the field. You do like
and
shuttle.
You're on the bench and you
do Malcolm shuttles, and then you go sit back on the bench,
waiting for your power stint.
And then the power stint, and if you played like below 25 minutes, you'd have to run MAS after the game out on the field.
Mate, that is a tough spot to be in.
Mate, I'd rather do that though than come in for a session.
Yes, but I know what you're saying, because but then again, those like header performances, like how much paranoia do they have if they think that is gonna make or break you? So you've played 10 minutes, power 10 minutes, and then we need to get some extra running into him.
Yeah, could you imagine I scored like 3 tries in that 10 minutes? I still got to run.
I can imagine you scoring 3 tries in 10 minutes. But, I mean, obviously, all these little things add up. But, and, you know, you don't want to neglect things. But the reality of it is, it's hard to see how a block of MAS on a post-game is, like, for the mental side of it. One, you've just come off the either victory or defeat, so your head's not in it, and then you've got to run, and it's I don't know.
Yeah,
it's a difficult one, but I feel sorry for those.
Sports science is crazy over those ways. Like, I think on captain's run, his name's Lockie Penfold. You have a certain amount of plays you're allowed to run on captain's run. You're not allowed to go over it, so you have to divvy up what you want to do. So for scrum, you'd be like, we're going to do a scrum play. We'll practice our scrum play, but you only get to do 2 plays after the scrum play, and then like dropout set. So the leaders come in and they nominate how many plays we get for the dropout set scrum, and it can't go over 12 or 16 or, mate, that's full on.
It fascinates me, this battle between, like, I guess priming the athlete versus actually getting practice in to do what you need to do, because we all know that combinations are important. How do you work on combinations? Repetition, right? You get accustomed to where those players around you are going to be. You get used to their favourite positions, places they do and don't like the ball, especially you as dummy half, mate. I know what Michael Ennis was like. He'd know who likes the ball spiral, who likes it off the ground, who likes a couple of steps. You've got to program your brain, because us forwards can be quite pedantic, but if you can't get your reps in because the sports scientist is saying, oh no, you've gone over your Ks, you're running a risk of injury, it's like, well, you're damned if you do and you're damned if you don't.
That's why I think they should take off more of the fitness, more of the MAS at the end, and just give us more reps in the actually passing the ball.
Yeah,
it is weird for a hooker as well, because you've got, when I come from Melbourne, they play a different, completely, like Jerome, for example, he plays on the advantage line, like flat, and I got used to that, whereas other players like Sammy Walker more behind, so he's got a bit more time to work with the ball. Then now I've got Jamie Humphries, I don't really know what he's like, I haven't had that much train. So it's a lot of, you've got to learn how to play with each other, especially at that position.
Yeah, I think sports science has obviously been a huge part in advancing the game, but sometimes I think maybe they've gone.
Don't overthink it.
Maybe not too far, but they've been given too much say respectfully to all the sports scientists out there, maybe just been given too much say in what's okay and what's not, and probably don't look at that psychological aspect of the game. But geez, we've got to get straight into the show and just say congratulations to the Wests Tigers. A scrappy victory yesterday, but put all that aside, there's a few teams that have scrapped their way to victory at different stages in the season. The Tigers now on 7 wins. It looks as though their days of finishing with the wooden spoon rather, are over. They can rest assured. And for me, this is a successful season now for the West Tigers.
For sure. I mean, they only need one more win, and it's very successful in my opinion. Like very successful in like we thought they were gone, But yeah, they had a crazy inclusion with Taylor May. I thought he played so bloody good. I think he had like 2 or 3 try assists.
Yeah.
But he just provided a lot of hard yards out of the back end, and they already have Taruva doing a good job at that. And then he managed to have a pass in him to get that ball away.
It was 2 sides that looked on edge, looked nervous, were going between we just need to play safe and figure out how to win, and then reacting to an opportunity that the last set that the Tigers had. I thought Luai was going to score, and I thought good on him, but I guess they weren't setting up for the field goal, but they got away with it. Dewey, absolutely fantastic again, being one of Tigers' best in recent weeks. But I think I just got to give that congratulations to them. Sometimes it doesn't matter how you get there, just getting the win for the Tigers. Doesn't matter how they got there. They got off the bottom of the ladder. It's been a rough season for them away from the field, off the field in terms of some of the players that they've lost. But I think, like, I'm assuming Benji will be sleeping a lot easier and now being more optimistic. He can now be optimistic about the future, because I think maybe those days are now behind them as a football club, and they can look to actually build something. And we can analyse the performance and the process, but it's a results-driven industry, and they got a huge win against a side that, if they give the 2 points to, they go up to 5 wins. The Tigers are still on 6, and it becomes a realistic possibility for them to finish with the spoon again. Now there's no chance.
Yeah. Who's their upcoming draw? Because they could bump up a couple more spots with another win.
Well, I know they finish with the Titans, and I know that. I think there's the Warriors in there maybe once, maybe twice. I do know they play the Warriors, but it's...
Who's in front of them?
Well, they're on 7 wins. The closest... they're in 12th as we speak. In 11th is the Dragons on 6 wins. And ahead of that is the Roosters in 10th on 8 wins. So I think, they'll be celebrating the fact that...
If they're 12th and Dragons have only got 6 wins...
Yeah. Well,
so they must have a bye coming up.
They've got a bye up their sleeve, yes. What's their run? Sorry, Tony?
Panthers this week, then the Bulldogs, then a bye, then Manly, Cowboys, Raiders, Titans.
Yeah.
So it's a pretty tough run home.
It's a tough run home, but with the Titans last game, and I guess now it's always fascinating this time of year. There's some teams near the bottom that they feel the pressure most of the year. And when the pressure goes off because now they can't play, I don't think the Tigers can play finals, and they can't finish with the spoon. So it almost just brings about this peace and this calmness within the playing group that we've got nothing to lose. And it might end up with Tigers may get blown away by a couple of those teams, which is fair enough. But ultimately, they're going to be playing with a sense of freedom and almost inconsequential what happens in the game. I think they'll have eyes on beating the Titans again, get themselves up to at least 8 wins. But it's great news for the Tigers.
Sorry, I lost my concentration. Charlie just come and butted in.
Oh, yeah. Just couldn't help himself.
Couldn't help himself.
No.
Pretty stock standard from you.
Yeah. On the flip side of that, Cheese, the Titans, new complete owners. They're going to have they've said they're going to have a deep dive into the running of the football club. They're backed by the NRL. They want a strong presence in the Gold Coast, and rightly so. But it was clear for all to see yesterday. Now, it's my understanding, because there's a bit of confusion about the order of events.
Oh, yeah, so we're talking about the Des Hasler.
The Des Hasler blob. So what we witnessed was Des Hasler go into the showers and call players back. Demand that they come back in a very, very animated way. Like, it was beyond animated. He was so fired up. But it's my understanding that he addressed the players and everybody in the room, told them to get ready. We're going to get to the airport. Some of those players have started to shower. Some are taking up strapping, and then he's decided that he's not finished yet, and he's ordered the players out of the shower to come for
It's actually
to either double down on his point or bring up some other points.
It was pretty comical because the video's got them running over. Have you ever had experienced that with Des before? You were coached by him, weren't you?
I found this
because it's quite strange. So I was unaware of the fact that it had already been briefed. I thought these guys were in the shower, and then I was off it. I was like, that's what the club's at.
Yeah,
the boys are just showering before they've even talked to the coach.
Well, I'd be amazed if that was the order of events, that they've just decided we're going to shower up before the gaffer speaks.
Shower up, get ready, Burley Pav.
Oh, well, yeah, or let's get out. I mean, unless there's circumstances around they needed to catch a flight, obviously maybe fly out from Sydney Sunday evening. I don't know how all that worked. Unless there's, like, I guess what you may call mitigating circumstances. I can't imagine a player or a group of players just showering up before they've been addressed. But I know I've been coached by Des, and there's a few things, like I've seen him do that before when he and the dogs were under an immense amount of pressure, that he's had some time to think, and he's decided, hang on, no, everybody get back. I don't ever recall those incidents as being caught on camera, but he's pretty smart. I've seen him put the towel over the camera before in doing that, which he's happy to take the fine. He's not too fussed about that. But I imagine he would have known he was being watched at that point. And obviously the owners were in the dressing room as well, the Frizzels. I think it's he's a smart man. Don't be fooled by how he articulates himself in the media. He's very intelligent, very, very thorough, and very thought out with his approach. And I know he's a very emotional coach. When he gets fired up, he gets fired up. And I think it was his way of communicating to the board, to the owners, not the board, that he's still the man for the job, that he cares about this club, that he is, he's going to go out on his sword. He's not going to die wondering with this. He wants to showcase to the whole organisation that's his way of showing that he cares, by getting that animated. And look, he blew up in the press conference. When you look back at, like, the time violation penalty, he obviously wasn't pleased with the match officials, but it's a tough one at the Titans, because with the roster that they've got, they shouldn't be anywhere near the bottom of the ladder.
Yep. That's a very strange one.
Yeah. You've been on the end of some sprays.
Not the double up, though.
Not the double up.
Never the double up. Not the get out of the shell.
Just the old 6 against. Rock infringement. Hasler's gone big 6 again. But you just got the spray and then it was done.
Yeah. I dare say the boys from Melbourne would have copped the spray very similar. But yeah, they do the towel over the thing as well.
Yeah.
I don't think they should have the cameras in there.
No cameras in the dressing
Not
room?
after the game, because there's naked blokes around. See, if one of those guys showered without the jocks on, that footage wouldn't even come out because they would have to run out naked.
That's true. Maybe there's something to be said for...
Shower without your jocks, boys.
Yeah, and then your team don't get in trouble.
And your coach doesn't get in trouble.
Yeah, that's an interesting one, that cheese. Like, what... Well, I guess the reason the broadcasters have the cameras in the dressing room is to try and capture those moments. And that's what they got. I know the
They
coach...
caught them.
Well,
it is funny, but like seeing them run out,
yeah,
tail between their legs.
Yeah. I've got soap in my eyes. Yeah,
I'm glad you clarified it though, because it would have been so crazy if those guys were having a shower before. Oh, that would be the death of me if that was right.
There has been some very animated coaches this week, and it just shows just how much pressure these people are under. I know Coach Seabold spoke a couple of weeks ago, and he got very philosophical around there's other things going on in the world, but you can see what it means to these coaches. Obviously, Coach Flanagan livid with the match officials and some of the decisions around them, and we're going to touch on it a little bit later, but I think he's valid with his points. And especially when you see his team working so hard, and then Coach Bellamy, the producers at Fox would have been working overtime because they got to react to mistakes made, right? Camera 2 on the coach's box, and Bellamy was back and forth. Coach Flanagan was back and forth. It's got me thinking, though, about Bellamy was asked a couple of questions, and he responded with, I've got an opinion, but I don't want to say it. All because of this fine system. And now, I understand why the game would bring in fining the coaches for criticism of the referee, but I wanted to know what one of the greatest minds in our game thinks about the Nelson elbow penalty, what he thinks about the Harry Grant contact on Luke Brooks penalty is. I want to know. Like, I want to know what he thinks. Are they penalties or not? Don't frame it in terms of blame the referee, but I want to hear what Bellamy's got to say.
Yeah. Well, and Josh Kerr.
Get Josh Kerr in for every... Yeah. Just get Josh Kerr to give us his 2 cents.
Just get Josh Kerr to do the post-match talk. When he's retired, give him to do the post-match conferences like Annesley. But yeah, I agree. It's a bad system, but like the amount of fines you get, and Bellamy's one of the tightest blokes with his money in the world. He can't afford to take any fines.
Well, he's cashed up now. He's not.
But he's not taking a $15,000 fine to voice his opinion.
Just on that, the credit to Manly. Jakey, again, the dressing room camera captures Jakey in a moment of joy where he boots over all the water bottles. Like, that is pure passion, pure emotion. A man that cares about his football club, that obviously have been struggling for different stages throughout the year. They get an unexpected victory in Melbourne. That captures the upside, even though, hopefully Jakey, his foot is okay because he didn't miss them. But we'll go in the Nelson one first, and we saw Zach Lomax in State of Origin on Trent Liero. Now, I know teams do practice that hip escape to the side of the ruck and use your elbow to slip out of the squeeze and to get up to help assist in getting to your feet to play the ball. I mean, and the size of the opponent, and the size of the person inflicting that damage, I don't think should come into it. But I think it has. The fact that it's the biggest man in the game, arguably, in Nelson. Did you think that was? Do you think that was the right call?
I think it was an accident. I think it definitely played a part in the play because he couldn't.
Yeah.
He couldn't. So I think it was warranted, the penalty, because what it does, it's unfortunately it's strike to the head, like whether he meant it or not, and you can see it. It stopped Jake Simpkins from being able to do play a role. It's basically an obstruction, you know.
Yeah.
It nullified his ability to be a marker.
Yeah.
And it's unfortunate and it's accidental. Like, because you're right, everyone practices, it's like called a sit out or a. But usually you're meant to bring your hip, like your elbow towards your hip.
Yeah.
But it's an unfortunate accident for me. I don't think 2 weeks was substantial like that. That's a long time to be sitting on the sidelines for an accident.
I think Nelson, unfortunately, his reputation has got him this. Maybe some carryover points as well. I've not looked at it properly, but
I thought carryover points weren't a thing anymore. There's just a grade system, so it's like you're always the same. No carryover.
No, I think it matters if you've been charged with not too dissimilar offences in the recent past. And then to end that game, it is decided by not Xavier Coates, who was, again, magnificent. Not a piece of brilliance from Kohler or DCE or Tommy Turbo. It was decided by a field goal attempt from Luke Brooks that never looked like going over, and a captain's challenge, which... If you watch that field goal live, or that field goal attempt live, you don't see anything wrong with that play. And since 1895, when the game broke away from rugby union in England and came to this country in 1908, that's never been a penalty. And the captain's challenge has been brought in. And rules are the rules, but for me, I know how hard every player works, how hard every coach works. For me, a game to be decided on that decision, it shouldn't be happening.
It's pretty putrid. And that's happened twice to Melbourne this year. Yeah. And both on Harry Grubb. Nah. But yeah, it's just... There's no maliciousness about it, and I remember a couple last year. Maybe Sean Johnson had one, which was an absolute joke. And it's so hard and frustrating for being at. I just assume being in that team for Melbourne, and the game is just taken away from you from a call like that.
Yeah, but
I will give it to Manly. There's a play that Ruben Garrick does. Have you seen it? You know how they score? Xavier Coates scores. Do you remember this?
Chase back.
He chased from all the way back to Grant Anderson.
Mm-hmm.
Grant Anderson threw that long ball. He chased all the way to the side. Xavier Coates, he had a freakish put down. They missed that kick. And they win by 2.
Cheese, I'm glad you brought that up because that is a message to anyone.
That is
what you think is a lost cause, saving 2 points.
Yeah,
got Manly the win.
Yeah, and we speak about the ref taking it away, but it would have been draw if that didn't happen. Ruben Garrick deserves a bit of a medal for that.
Absolutely,
it's not like a 100-meter effort. He runs from center, from an intercept, runs from center to about the 50, 60-meter line, then he doubles back around, and he nearly stops the try.
Coates had to...
it was a great put down by Coates. He's one of the best in the game at it, but the fact that they missed the kick, and I remember watching it, the fact that they missed the kick, and that decided the game, and it's little efforts like that.
And especially when you compare it to Coates' third try, that was maybe 2-3 meters infield, maybe 4 meters infield. It's an easier kick. They get that kick, mate, I'm glad you brought that up. I noticed that as well.
Yeah.
Like that big effort from Garrick kept them in the game, kept it a one score. Kept it within 6 instead of within 4, and it likely is a different story. But just on the contact with the kickers, I think for me this is one of those rules that shouldn't be black or white. There are some rules within the game that I think need to be clearly black and white, and we have a full understanding of what is and what isn't an obstruction, what is a try, what is not a try. But I think on the contact with the kicker, I think we need to exercise common sense and just go, look, Harry Grant, there's no injury, which is obviously something that you do take into account. Second of all, there is no intent.
He's not even looking.
He's not. Whether he's looking or he's not, maybe you could argue it makes it more dangerous by he's in control. He's not in control of his actions, but he's clearly looking to charge down the ball.
Yeah.
And when people say, "Oh, just don't attack, just don't touch the kicker," this is happening usually in the last 5 minutes of a half of football, and more often than not in the latter stages of the game. Sometimes you see some teams go for field goals at the end of the first half, but that's very rare. Usually these events happen when the game consequential. It's at the last minute of the game. So fatigue is at its absolute maximum. You are going on an effort play to put pressure on a kicker. And some people would go attack from the inside for the hips, which I totally understand. But with a field goal, you almost have to get into the space of the ball. And you think about the distance between the ball leaving the kicker's foot and the floor versus where it's on that trajectory. You can't help but go into that space. And sometimes it's not people like Harry Grant causing the offense. It's the kicker themselves. And for me, it's just not how a game should be decided. I think if we've got the ability to have discretion and by case, and look, that may within itself create more drama, but it beats this.
Well, Andrew Johns had a good point. It's like back in the day, you have to stand 15 meters away so the kick pressure couldn't get to you. Now you can pretty much stand next to it, and if they're coming too fast, you can just hold your leg out.
Well, geez, you're right in that with what Joey said, but you could almost get players playing for it.
Yeah. Oh, mate. Shawnee Johnson, that one was played for 100%.
You could get players playing for it. But again, it's just, for me, it's not how a game should be decided.
No, not
at all. It really isn't. Before we get into the rest of the round, Cheese, it's been announced, or it should be announced any moment soon. Kevy Walters is going to take over the Kangaroos, but rather strangely for 3 games only.
Is it just for the tour?
Just for the up-and-coming Ashes series. At time of recording, that is what we are being told will happen.
Barb must have said no to Cam.
You reckon?
Barbara Smith must have pulled the pin. Sorry, mate, you're not going.
Well, for me, the length of the contract to just do the Ashes seems a little strange. Because obviously with the World Cup in 2026, does it mean Kevy's got an inkling he's in line for a job?
PNG.
I'm thinking more Titans or Cowboys.
Ooh.
Potentially. But then that would put him out for the beginning of the preseason if either of those 2 jobs become available.
It's very interesting. Titans would be a one I'd be saying would be most likely. It's very close to Brisbane Titans.
Yeah. But I know Kevy has a desire to coach. I'd be really pleased for him on a personal level.
If that is
the case when he gets that job for the Kangaroos. Very passionate person, and I'm looking forward to the Ashes, and it's going to be hard to see someone who I really like around the game. I'm going to want to support against them. Unfortunately for Kevy, I'm going to be death riding the Aussies at every single moment in that tour. But congratulations to Kevy, one of the game's most likable characters. And put that aside, I think the bloke can coach, and boy could he play.
I think he's perfectly suited for an Ashes coaching gig or even a World Cup gig. I think he's just personality, coaching ability, perfectly lines up with how you want your coach to be.
Yeah, absolutely, Cheese. Well said.
Is there a more dominant international side than the Aussies?
No, but...
Or maybe the Gillaroos?
Probably the Gillaroos, but I think the landscape could be changing.
Yeah.
And I'm glad that the Commission have acted, because I think player availability is going to be a hot topic. And availability and eligibility very, very soon.
There are RLPA discussion today.
Oh, really? Yeah. Yeah, I think it's going to be very interesting about who...
Because I think if you play for Cook Islands this year, you're locked into Cook Island.
Yeah, I think that's fair. I'm more looking at the state of origin and, some of those players that represent Queensland and Australia. Sorry, Queensland, New South Wales, and have represented Australia in the past, may be looking at potentially representing other countries. I'm talking about the likes of Tino. I'm talking about the likes of Payne Haas.
Mm-hmm.
Whether or not they will...
they'll nip it in the butt?
No, they'll look to choose Samoa over Australia.
Yeah.
And what that means for Origin. But we've had players like Stephen Crichton and Brian Toto do it before, but and amongst others, they're just two that spring to mind. But it'll be
very interesting. Like Tonga's team this coming up World Cup, if all stays healthy, it's going to be a scary sight.
Well, like I say, that I think with the international game, it's no longer a given that Australia win it or make the final. There's some genuine quality opposition where I think it could be, five teams that could legitimately go on and win it. If Samoa get their best team on paper, if Tonga get their best team on paper.
Yeah, I just think Tonga, with the way that their number 7's going at the moment, who will be their number 7, that's a good inkling into the Cowboys versus Dolphins. But the way he's going with another year under his belt, like that's what a lot of these Polynesian nations have been missing. It's just a proper number 7 to guide them around the paddock. And then they've got those people at the Warriors. They're all Tongans. Leka, I think he's a Tongan. That kid that just won the game. Like, they've got such good young talent coming through.
Yeah, they sure do.
It's very scary.
They sure do. We'll get into our instant classic, Cheese, which is obviously the Warriors' last gasp win over the night, which is all thanks to Classic. Become a Classic VIP in the link in the bio. They've got epic deals in there. It isn't just about NRL, Super Rugby, International, whatever your team. Get involved. The grassroots, especially the team at Classic, do look after you. Get to classicsports.com.au today. But that game-winning try, talk about pandemonium at the end of that game. Again, a field goal attempt missed by Tanner Boyd. It was one of three. One of three, but one of the poorest field goal attempts I've seen in a while. It was more like a grubber kick.
It was all planned, Jimmy.
Then they go to the video ref. Jackson Hastings offside. Look, I don't know if. Look, it's really frustrating because, and even with some of the roll balls that are being analysed again.
Oh my God! Don't get me started on that.
We'll come to the roll balls after.
Yeah. Fuck! Please don't get me started.
the Warriors given a penalty. It's missed by Tanner Boyd. And then Warriors get the ball back to go for another field goal attempt. It's charged down. And Halasima picks it up. And oh my God, I was screaming at the TV, pass it on the inside. He's done that so many times. That boy, he's 19. This is, like, we've got some great candidates for Rookie of the Year. But my God, this boy
Like
can
what he
play.
did, like he was full sprint into double right, like the right foot step, left foot step. And then, like, it wasn't just that. With 12 meters to go, respectfully, there was 3 people on him.
Yeah.
And
But
I
like I
thought,
said, he should have passed.
oh, they had 3 people on him, and somehow, mate, their bloody legs. They must be, I haven't played them yet, but they must be powerful.
Mate, that boy could be.
He's been on the wing as well, eh? That's the same one?
I'm not sure.
Or was he the same one that was on the wing the other day?
I don't know if he's played wing, but someone else tossed that up. I was
No,
speaking to, but
No, I'm pretty sure he debuted on the wing, scored that full field wing try. Not full field, but like 60 metres.
Yeah. I know he scored. No, he scored that freak of a try against Tigers where he happened to be on the. He got the ball. He got the ball on the wing, but I don't think he was playing wing.
Yeah, that makes sense.
It was an insane try. I think it was at Campbelltown. Yeah, he found himself on the wing and just went, "Thanks for coming."
When are we going to have the ability to say, "Bring that up, Tony"?
A huge win for the Warriors in the context of their season. Gives them, a 2-win buffer over.
You'd think that
the Broncos. Had they lost that game, we talk about the pressure. The Broncos, in form, Warriors would be looking at over their shoulder. But I think that buffer should. It's not over yet.
They don't have the worst run in though.
No, but they are hampered by their injuries. But sometimes it's just about getting the wins. That they really should be cementing a top 4. I've got to give a shout out to the Knights and the way they performed as well. I think under a lot of pressure the previous week, talks of Kalen Ponga going to a breakaway rugby union competition. He's now agreed to, or put it out there that he's going to stay till the end of 27. O'Brien under pressure, illness, run rampant through the camp. But they turned up and they played for their coach, they played for their club, and they played for their community. And we can argue about whether they need to make some changes, but I think credit should be given to the way the Knights have dug in at certain points this year. Because for me, their defense is up there.
They look a lot better side with Domi Young.
Yes,
let's see, attacking prowess is a lot because they were struggling at the start. I think they were averaging 8 points a game.
Yeah, but their attack is their issue defensively. If your attack improves, your defense naturally improves because you're scoring more points, you get more possession, and the flow and effect of the game. But a lot of pressure on Dylan Brown coming in next year to unlock that attack, bring the best out of Ponga and have some game management skills. So credit to the Knights, but the Warriors, huge victory for them. I
wanted to ask you, what do you think of Jackson Hastings? Because I have my opinion about it. And I feel like he wasn't square, but the play the ball and walk forward.
Yeah.
Like he played the ball and then like scooted 2 feet forward. I don't know whether it was a ploy to walk into the markers or what. And why do you think Jackson Hastings had a free run? Like he didn't have to run around anyone because
he was walked into.
Yeah. That's what
he moved to the person playing the ball from the Warriors moved off the mark.
Yeah, like he walked forward, and I'm assuming it was to take out the markers, but that was just my opinion on it.
Well, look, congratulations to the Warriors. They look on top 4. Geez, we'll touch on that now because I think you could look at any ruck with the rule book in your hand and find a reason to penalise one side or the other at almost every ruck in the game, every play the ball in the game, whether that's somebody offside, not square, incorrect play the ball, and we need to be careful what we wish for because yes, we want the game to be policed correctly, but just how far do we go in that search for perfection? Because it seems to me now any team with a challenge up their sleeve. They're going to use it on a field goal because you'll find something. You'll find someone offside somewhere going slightly early in front. You'll find someone slightly not square at marker. I think we need to give more power to the referees. We want them to be.
And the rucks, I reckon, less power.
What do you mean to the
mate? No, keep going.
Sorry. So on the roll ball, go on. What are your thoughts on the roll ball?
My thoughts are the inconsistency was off its head. The Roosters versus Sharks game, there was like 4 at the start of the game. Mate, I've seen worse in the Penrith versus Rabbitohs game, and there was 0. There was not 1. How can there be 4 at the start of a game and then there's no more? And then you flick over to the next game and it's policed completely differently.
Yeah. Well, look.
And some of them were like, the Billy Smith one, I didn't even think was a roll ball.
Well,
you cannot police roll balls.
No, I don't think you can either.
You can't police them. You'd have to be watching everyone's foot for the rest of the game.
And you just can't. You don't have the ability to do that.
No.
I feel for the refs a bit because you talk about consistency, and it's always going to be difficult to get, but you can be consistent in your approach. And I don't think the referees have been consistent in their approach.
But I don't even blame the refs at this point. Obviously, someone's told the ref we need to have a little bit of a crackdown. I blame those people for not telling the player, because the roll ball rule's gone out the window. Everyone's
been forgotten about.
Yeah, it's been forgotten about. Everyone's just doing back to normal. Obviously, someone said to someone, mate, just watch these roll balls this game. And then he's not said it to another ref. And
or the other referee is just, it's gone past them because there's 1,000 other things that they're looking at.
It just does my head in because that ruined a lot of the Roosters Sharks game was half ruined because of the start of the game was roll ball. Roosters got punished, and I'm not here being a Roosters fan at the moment, but they got punished pretty bad at the start of the game.
Yeah, it was. It's a frustrating watch. And
just makes the game clunky.
Yeah, I think in terms of that, going back to what I was saying before, you'd find a roll ball in most rucks.
In nearly everyone.
You'd find a little bit of offside.
Every set. Yeah.
So we just need to be. We need to be careful, and we go to the bunker on a lot of occasions. I think every try. I think that's fair, but if we go looking for things, we'll find it. And like I say, look, I appreciate how difficult of a job the referees have. They want to get every decision right, but do we want to penalise every ruck, every roll ball? No. Let's just be consistent in our approach to match officials, and the players that they do adjust, and things like policing behaviour. The touch on the kicker, for example. Just don't do it. But if only it was as simple as that. I don't think Harry Grant, any player that's putting kick pressure on, goes out to attack a kicker's legs.
It's just the ones that when you dive for the ball and you're diving directly at their legs.
Like I did. I admit that. And I didn't know. And
was it 10 years ago?
Yeah. Yeah, it was. Yeah, It was. It was 2014. No, 2015 rather. Yeah, with Adam Reynolds. That 100%. That was the correct call. But you compare that to
brushing the leg with your leg.
Arguably initiated by Harry Grant. By Luke Brooks. He kicks Harry Grant more than Harry Grant makes contact with him. But I think with such an exciting final series around the corner, we can't be mucking around with this because it just...
Oh, could you imagine a team being knocked out of the comp on a decision like that? Like the finals?
No.
Could you imagine the uproar?
There would be uproar, and I think you can argue, rightly so. The Dolphins were dismantling the Cowboys. It was some of the worst offense I've seen in a long time. What was alarming was Dolphins shift their ball to the left edge. One of their players would make a break, and there was a queue of Dolphins players. Well, and the hammer dropped one because I think it was Farnworth had
because there's too
four
many people.
But
But they're the best in the comp at that at the moment, though. I've noticed that most games their push through support is ridiculous.
Their push through support is good cheese, but where was the Cowboy? Like, so I'm trying to explain to our listeners that when you're defending on those edges and you make decisions, I think you know you might get stripped sometimes, but you take people out. Like, so if you're the 3 foot, so if they strip you on an edge, right, because it's not like the Cowboys players were chasing back. So sometimes people will go, no, you paddle, and then if they make a break, you start running back as well and get in between the support. They weren't doing that.
They're jamming, making a decision.
But they were jamming, but not taking anyone out. They were allowing the Dolphins players to make a clean breakthrough. So if you've got Hammer out the back and you take him out and then you take out Avarillo, then you get Farnworth go through on his own. They might have some support up the middle, but that gives your left-hand side defense time to chase back and get in the picture and stop the try, but that just wasn't happening. It was bizarre how easily they were picking apart that right-hand defense that featured, I think it was it Cotter and Dearden, or Nanai and Dearden. It was a walk in the park. They've got some big issues there defensively, and the pressure is coming on Coach Payton, which is, I think, it's harsh, but it's the world we live in. He got them to the second week of finals last year, but defensively, they've been poor again.
Well, it's alarming when a legend, probably one of the best players, was criticising and a GOAT of that team, the best Cowboy to ever put the jersey on, probably Jonathan Thurston. He was debating what their systems are, their defensive systems are on short sides. After the game, he had a bit of a...
Yeah.
Him and Brent Tate were talking about it. And when you've got a legend of the game like that, saying negative stuff about the defence, that's alarm bells ringing to me.
Well, they are, in terms of points conceded, the worst team in the competition. And granted, they've played one more game than the Titans, who would be the closest after that, but 531 points. So that is, with the quality of their roster, that's just not good enough. And especially when
How many
you think,
games is that?
they played 18, so they played one more than
About 24 points.
It's just, but especially when you think of the home ground advantage they should have. Like, that is what should set them apart. That they're difficult conditions for most teams to go and play in most of the year.
All of the year?
All of the year, but just it was really poor. And credit to the Dolphins there. They're in the mix for finals. Talk of Herbie Farnworth becoming the first ever $1 million centre.
And I'm not even going to argue with the fact that he could be $1 million centre. He is bloody lightning.
He is very good.
He is very, very good.
He's off.
He's going to get third Dally M Centre of the Year in a row. I think he's already won 2 in a row.
Him and Crichton will be, I imagine. They're the best two in the game. I just wonder. He's off contract, and he's a November 1 guy. Perth Bears would be all over him.
Mate, does he know how to play Union? Because that'd be a scary thing to lose. And he'd be a bloody good Union player. Jesus.
Well, he'll get plenty of suitors. The Dolphins, I know they've got to probably upgrade and extend Qatar, but Farnworth as well. If he does get that $1 million, he'll be worth it. He is bringing so much to that team.
He's so good. But he's a competitor. That's why he's like...
He cares about his football.
Like, he loves that. Like, yeah, he loves playing. It just looks like he loves playing football. And like whenever they're playing bad, he seems to try step up. Like, you know what I mean? And to the detriment of himself, sometimes he tries to overplay it.
He'll chip in with yardage carries.
Yeah.
He carries the ball out of yardage like a winger, gets his work done there, and then he has the ability to create.
He's actually a freak.
I
just say he's the same as you. He's baby oiled up from...
Oh.
But like way too much.
He knows
Almost illegal to. We need to get a little tester out there, like a ref with a glove to just. There can't be bloody 40 mil of baby oil per leg.
Yeah, I don't know if he's
because when you go to get around the leg and they're fully shaven, so it's like trying to tackle a piece of slime. Like if you get them around the hips and your arm hits the like below the shorts, it's going straight down to the ankle.
I think he knows what he's doing. Put it that way. The Dogs get a win against the Dragons. A lot of focus on the Lockie Galvin in at number 7. I thought he had a more positive than negative night and obviously came up with a clutch play.
Well, he proved me wrong a bit. I said he wouldn't make the players. He made the play.
He did. He come up with a try as well. Dogs can be probably a little bit probably guilty of not going through with the victory, which is something that you'd look for your halves to do, but they got the victory in the end. To be fair, in my time in the NRL, the Dogs and the Dragons have always played out close games. They've always been really competitive games. The Dragons, I think, having a slight edge over the Bulldogs, a bit of a bogey side for them, but they got away with a victory. Coach Flanagan, like we spoke about, visibly upset. And before we get into the Dogs, I think I'm thinking about the Dragons, and it was tough for them, but they've got to. With talk of coaches, I think they've got to back Flanagan.
Why don't they not?
Because he's only got another year left.
No, I believe that the Dragons that are playing now, compared to before Shane Flanagan, are much better than they were.
Yeah.
They're in a much better position. Mate, the Dragons are one of those teams that they look bad on the ladder. But if you go back and have a look at all their games they've lost, it's been decided by 2 points.
Yeah.
2 or 4 points, one score, and so many. I think they'd be like 5th or something if they won every 5th or 4th if they won every like one score game, which is a sign that your team is on the rise. And they're not one score games against all the bad teams. Like I think they lost to Melbourne by 1 try, Roosters by 1 try, Dogs just in
Souths they lost by a point. They're not that far away.
No, and their roster, respectfully to them, their roster is not a roster that is portrayed to have the amount of wins or the
level of performance.
The level of performance.
I think that they've got some really good young forwards. They probably just need a little bit more polish, a bit more strike. Obviously, Val Holmes was missing, but I think the Dragons need to move quickly and back Shane Flanagan because they've missed out on some results. They have 6 wins for the year, 11 losses. Now that on paper can look really bad, but I think you've got to analyse the process and the performance, and they've done that. And as heartbreaking as it is for the Dragons and losing a game like that, I understand a lot of Dragons fans pissed off at the match officials, but look at the bigger picture here for them. Like they weren't going to play finals this year. Even if they got the victory, that would have took them to 7 wins, 10 losses. I think they're that ship has sailed realistically. But the bigger picture for the Dragons is they've got to back Shane Flanagan because he's obviously going with a youth policy in terms of the forwards. I probably didn't agree with the move of Jack DeBellum, but that's the strategy they're doing. But they need the backing of the board and the power brokers to give Flanagan the keys and say, look, I can now add something to this. Because if you're a player now and the Dragons are in for you, like, who's the coach? Well, Flanno's off contract at the end of 26. They need to get that man extended and give him a decent crack at going to develop and then first recruit a few players that can add to what he's starting to build, and then develop some of these young players as well.
Yeah, I think Shane Flanagan's in the position where, and I don't know this, but like, this is what I think looking in, that the club has too much say over him, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Whereas you look at Ciraldo and who else was it just coming? Those people are Ryle. They're backed by the club.
Yes,
so if he wants to make, they're backed by the club. Like Jason Riles, we said this last week, but Jason Riles has made some crazy decisions since he went to Para. but they all agreed to him. And look at them now; they're such a better team than they were.
Yeah,
they're getting better. And then Serraldo, he can do whatever he wants. Like bringing Galvin, that was probably like his idea. Like he's allowed to do what he wants, and he's backed by the club. There's no backlash. But like I see Shane Flanagan copping flack a lot of the time from media about like his decisions and stuff like that. And I think if the club really just gave him reins over that club and let him make whatever decision he wanted to make and picking that side, I think their side would be a lot better. And there's still some pieces they need in their team. Yeah. But if he managed to get one big dog player, those games could be easily changed.
And that one big dog player, as strange as it sounds, does make the difference in those big games. We'll finish off on the Raiders, Eels, Cheese. Raiders, they made it difficult. They got off to a great start and then invited Para back. Great work from Para, but then just too much clash from the Raiders. Owen Patty, what a player he is going to be. I don't know how they're going to fit him, Starling, and Brayley in next year. That is...
Owen Patty goes to the market.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's going to be...
He's a player you could build a team around.
Literally.
Congratulations to Canberra. It looks like they're going to seal the mine, the Premiership. It would be as mind blowing as them being top if they don't finish top. Like I still can't.
Well, that's the thing. Raiders don't lose against teams they should lose to.
Yeah.
Or they shouldn't lose to.
Yeah. They have a habit of winning.
That's what's happened this year. They've had upsets against teams, and then the rest of the comp, they've beat pretty much all the teams that they should be beating.
Yeah. No, you're right. So look, they'll get the minor Premiership barring a catastrophe. But interesting with Parramatta, they're not picking Dylan Brown. Moses due back this week. I think they've got to continue with that. I said this at the start of the year when Dylan Brown signed for Newcastle and it didn't look like Para's season was going to go well. I thought this was inevitable. And now we're seeing it. And the great thing for a guy like Josh Papali'i now, he can get first team experience, but without the pressure of needing results. So, look, and I don't.
And that's what I mean by the club backing him, because that means the club's allowing Roles to do this, knowing that games are going to be lost.
Yeah, but he's going to get the benefit is going to come next year. 1 or 2 years time, and even with the possibility of a wooden spoon, I don't think that's going to phase them. I don't think they're playing to avoid the spoon. They're playing with the future in mind, which is a brave decision by the football club, as you say, but they've backed Riles. He's their man. And they're showing some positive signs. Well, just quickly as well, forgot the Roosters, difficult loss against the Sharks. For me, if the Sharks are going to kick on, it's as simple as you've got to play with Brayley. Forget Hines, forget Trindle, that combination. Brayley played excellent.
It's the best hooker performance I've seen this year.
Yeah, he played... He was excellent on the weekend, but they're still not taking advantage of every opportunity he's getting on, and they need to get on board with him. He's the man to get them through.
Right. 121 straight games, apparently. 7 minutes missed.
That is incredible. Cheese, been great to see you. Great to be back. We will catch you all next week on the Bar Round.